All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. First and foremost, thank you all for being here today. We're excited to introduce Taxscribe Pro to the group that we have. Taxscribe Pro is our end-to-end platform designed to specifically simplify and modernize business personal property tax filings. Everything that we're going to go over today or everything that we're going to show you today is built around one real goal, and that is making filings easier, more transparent for our taxpayers, consultants, and jurisdictions. So we can go ahead and jump to our next slide, which we've got an agenda put together. So here's a quick look at what we're going to cover today. We're going to start with a brief overview of TaxScribe Pro and its key features. Then we're going to go through a live demonstration of the platform. And after that, we'll talk about, some of the data loading capabilities, our roadmap, and how we're utilizing AI to help with things like asset tracking and classification. We'll also review pricing, and then we'll leave plenty of time at the end for questions. What I want to start with is letting you know who some of our team members are who are on the call. Today, my name is Jamie Elkin. I am the Senior Vice President of Software Products here at Reason Consulting. And on the call with me from our team, we've got Marissa Kumar and Adam Hunter. Marissa, would you mind introducing yourself?
I would love to. Thank you, Jamie. I'm Marissa Kumar, and I recently joined the Taxscribe Pro team as Director of Sales. And after having come from an extensive background in property tax technology, so I'm super excited to be here and to have the opportunity to show you what our software can do for you.
And Adam.
Hi, I'm Adam Hunter. I'm Reason's Chief Technology Officer, and I'll be clicking the buttons in the demo today.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you both for being here, and we're excited to show off our product. So moving into key features, at our core or at its core, TaxScribe Pro is an end-to-end solution. Our solution allows for push-button delivery directly to all jurisdictions, all within a secure web-based platform. That web-based platform is extremely important because if you want to call it speed to implementation or speed to market, is extremely quick, where with other platforms, it will typically take somewhere between 60 and 90 days to get a user up and running. Our platform takes considerably less time, around the 15 to 30 day mark, to get you onboarded, and you can immediately start going in and utilizing the platform. Well, I take that back. You can actually go in and create a user and begin using it immediately if you're coming from the private sector side. But since we also work with jurisdictions, we have that implementation timeline as well. Additionally, pricing is straightforward and budget friendly. And everything is centralized into one application. When we go through our demo, you'll be able to see our built-in workflows, the multi-party signature capability, also our modern security features like SOC 2 compliance and role-based permissions. So we're excited to really just jump in. One thing that I wanted to mention is if you have questions, I know that you can go ahead and put questions into the chat feature. We'll address those after the call or at the end of the call. And at this time, I'd really like to turn things over to Adam Hunter, who's going to be displaying our platform.
Good afternoon or morning, everyone, depending on where you're located. I'm gonna leave this presentation and come into here, and then Jamie, just give me a thumbs up. You can see our sign-in screen.
Not yet. It is still on the presentation.
All right. Well, that
There you go.
figures.
There. That is it.
All right. Well, let me sign out since it's not the sign-in screen. So what I wanted to first talk about is starting Taxscribe Pro and how easy it is. You can come right to our website, click on sign up, enter your information, and you're immediately good to go. We'll send you an email to verify that your email is legitimate. And once you have done that, you'll get 4 free credits to try the system today if you're so inclined, as maybe it's a little late in the season, but I know Alabama, for instance, is receiving listing forms around this time, and you could test that out today. I'm going to go back to sign in. I also want to talk about our commitment to security. Taxscribe is a SOC 2 certified application. It uses modern encryption, including quantum resistant encryption for those of you curious. And we also have the ability to use SSO. So if you're signing in through Microsoft's Entra platform, or your IT department says you have to do it this way, there's a very good chance we're here to support you and let you be able to sign in the way that your organization needs. Once I sign in, I'm greeted with all the forms that I have in progress. And I am in an example jurisdiction right now with dozens and dozens of forms that are just created for testing purposes. I'm going to walk through a couple of the different filters. So while one of the things coming soon is a natural language query, so you can just type in, show me these forms in this version. For now, you still have to click buttons like you're from the last millennium, but you can pick any of the jurisdictions. These are only going to show the jurisdictions that you've created forms in. Now, we are available in every single state that supports tangible or business personal property. So these jurisdictions you see here are just the ones that we've created forms in. You can sort and filter by the form statuses, which I'll open this up again. As you can see, there's a bunch of different statuses. The ones that are going to be most important to you when you start are in progress. This means you have not finished the form yet. Once you've completed the form, and we'll show this a little bit later, it can be marked as printed, mailed, emailed, or if it's electronically delivered, approved, returned, and inadmissible. I'm going to clear this. These are all the different types. So switching from jurisdiction to the different kinds of forms, you can see we support all the different types and names. We understand the terminology for each state. You can see in Georgia that there's a number of different forms, such as Freeport, airplanes, marinas, etc. In some jurisdictions, we also support individual personal property. I'll cover that in a little bit. State filter does what you'd expect. And I'm going to go and switch to 2024 so you can see last year's data. While that loads, I want to point out that we've made it push button to start a form. So if you used Taxscribe last year, or if you use this year and going to next year, you can clone a previous year's form. You just click on it. Any of what we call yearly data gets rolled over by one. So our forms are all, from our development side, we call year aware. So if you've seen a North Carolina form and it's 2025 to 2009, and next year it's 2026 to 2010. Every year our forms dynamically update, so there, and we understand the data structure, so it intelligently moves your data forward. It will lump everything in the bottom into a prior year, leave the top year blank for you. And finally, you can see down here, we've got preparer and signer. I'm going to cover signer in a little bit more detail, but preparer allows you to specify the specific person who's supposed to be using this, who's supposed to be filling out this form in your organization. And talking about organizations, let's think of them a little bit more like teams. I'm going to switch back to 2025. And I'm going to go into the list of organizations or teams that I have available to me. I'm going to take Adams Accounting as my example, and I'm going to walk through a couple of other details. So you can see here, it's very easy to fill out the information about your organization. There's a physical address that we've put in here, which is really just a return mailing address, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But in order to send mail from our application, we just need to know the return address, and you can set that in here. Now, organizations or teams let you create groups of users that have access to the data in that organization. In this example, we have 3 people in here, and you can see there's different roles. Andy can't be trusted with administrative rights, so he's only allowed to be a user and a signer, but Kamlesh and I are admins, and Kamlesh is also marked as a preparer. There's a couple of other features I wanted to touch base on too. So I just mentioned that there was an address, a return address. In addition to the return address, you can create an address for any jurisdiction anywhere in the country that you want to send mail to. You can see a couple of them in here that I've already created as samples, and this will either augment or override the data we provided. So in many cases, we will offer an address for you, which we'll get to as we close through the forms. But if you want to put in the address that you want something mailed to, you can put that in here. And then finally, we understand that the workflow requires you to send a completed packet to your customers to let them know that it's done. And so you can just drag and drop your logo here and preview your cover letter. So this is just an example logo and talks about how pleased I am to submit this personal property on behalf of my customer. All right, going back to our forms, I am going to talk about some of the forms that we have available. So first I want to start with Texas, just because I know something very important as January comes up. I've been working in this industry since 2009, specifically in business personal property tax. So it's not January to me, it's extension month. And I'll just select any of these in here. And as you can see, not only do we support the rendition form, but we also support the business personal property extension form. And to save you the time of watching me type in a bunch of stuff, because Jamie said that's boring, I filled one of these out for you already. You can see an example ink in here. I'm going to cover the signature link on our next form, but I do want to talk about if it needs to be signed by you. We have a digital signature system that I can just type in my name or pick my existing signature and then press complete. We also have the ability to see the PDF at any time that you want to. And so it pops up right here. So you can see this is my request for an extension with my signature. And I'll show that in more detail as we get through the forms. So if I have a form that I'd like to get started, and let's say that I know it's in Baldwin, I can come to my filter, find it very easily, and I have this example business already assigned to Kamlesh as a preparer. I'm going to view this. So I've only filled out a few fields in here because I want to talk about how Taxscribe Pro is a document management system. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of forms available across the country for filing business or tangible personal property tax, as well as its ancillary data. Now, we know we can't necessarily capture everything you might ever want to file as a type it in form on a web page. And so as part of that, we support any PDF that's in landscape as part of our system. A couple of examples you'll see in here. I'll just open these up. And you'll see that in here I have attached an NRAF2, an affidavit of sale with gain. You can see I put Andy's name in here. I left the rest of it blank. I also have a spreadsheet that I have added some data into, my stuff and pens. And when I view the PDF of this, you can see that those will be embedded in the PDF. So this is the Alabama form, as you're familiar with it. All I have is a coffee maker, because that's all you really need to make software, I guess, on a computer. This is the affidavit seller gain, and the file I just added right here. And to show an example of how we can take any file and attach it, I have pre-filled this. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. This aircraft property return. I need to click on it. Sorry, I meant to drag it over here. This aircraft property return, and I'm going to drag it onto here. You should see it upload and change. And then when I click on PDF, this will now be available to me in the PDF preview that I have. So I'm going to scroll down. And we can now see aircraft property tax return, just jumping back and forth. This is the one I just showed you. Page 5 ends on the spreadsheet, and the one that I just made ends here. And because my understanding is we have a whole hour to really belabor the point, I'm going to create just a brand new spreadsheet as a sample of data that you might want to add, similar to what I had before. So asset, year, cost. And I guess I skipped my computer before, and it's from last year and was $1,900. And we'll say that's all the details that I need. I'm going to download this as a PDF, and I'm going to attach that. So now, as I mentioned, it needs to be in landscape format. So I will do that as well. Oh, portrait, see me in portrait format. I spelled landscape before. Export. Come over here, and I'm going to add that to my attachments section. So I have this new PDF that I've just made, and I'm going to upload that as well. And I'm going to click on PDF, and I'm going to go to what I believe will be page 6. And that will have that document as well. Oh, And here it is. Yep, page 6. Good guess on my part. You can see. So I just made this live from a spreadsheet. Now, obviously, you would create a more realistic example, but for the proof of showing you the system in real time, that's part of why we're not recording this. Or so we are recording this. Is part of why we're not playing a recording for you to show you in real time the system can ingest any kind of data that you need it to. Now, that's all well and great because we can all print stuff out ourselves. So let's move on to the end. Now, there are two things that really help the magic happen. So you can see here, and I have this signature. It says Adam Hunter, and I'm gonna make sure that says Adam Hunter. And then, however, I actually need Jamie to sign this. So I've got Jamie Corp over here. You see a list of different clients. And I'm going to create this link for him. And then he has been emailed with a link. And then he's going to go check his email in the background. This is like a magic trick, if you will. And then from that link, he's going to see a read-only version of this form and he's going to sign it. And then once he signed it, he'll give me a thumbs up and I'll refresh the page. Jamie's favorite phrase in the universe is that he's muted.
I'm still on mute. So thank you, Adam. No, while you were speaking, I received the email, and I've got this link that I'm going to click now to sign my document. It's fetching the data. I can go to the affirmation page, and I'm going to change the signature to my name. Click on the signature, and my signature is now saved.
And as you can see, now the form is signed by Jamie right here in the middle instead of by myself. I'm going to open up the PDF one more time just to demonstrate how you can view the PDF at any time in this process. And slide down here where we have Jamie Elkin as the signatory. Okay, so very important feature, letting your customers do the signature for you as an approval. And finally, I think what one of our killer features is, if you were to use the fancy vernacular, we have the ability to send this form directly through a secure mailing facility to the jurisdiction. Now, you can print it out, as we mentioned, which is pretty much what you have probably been doing in the past. You print these, you mail them, etc. However, we're providing with push button the ability to send first class mail, or we recommend certified mail. We offer first class in case you know the jurisdiction for some reason won't accept certified via PO box or whatever. Now, our first class mail is tracked by intelligent mail barcodes. So for those of you familiar with the Postal Service's tracking mechanisms, our USPS certified mail is tracked just like you would an Amazon package, if you will. When you send it through certified mail, you'll be able to come back in here to the mail tracking section and get a legitimate USPS tracking number that walks you through the entire process. So you have proof that it's been mailed on a certain time, and you can track that as it gets sent through the USPS's postal system. On top of that, as an opportunity, there are some jurisdictions which don't even want to accept mail, and we have two different opportunities for them. In many cases, Taxscribe accepts e-filing directly through the platform. So if, for instance, you are in Mecklenburg, North Carolina, which is where I am physically located right now, at the very top of this, you'll see an e-file button, and you can click and it will instantly be electronically delivered. And if for some reason Taxscribe Pro isn't integrated with their e-file system, we have a service we call Transcribe. We have a secure office located in Michigan that is SOC 2 certified, has American team members experienced in doing government data entry, and they will type your form into the target system that it needs to get into. So you're not wasting your time with interns or whatever processes you've created to type these forms into a myriad of different e-file systems. We handle all of that for you. You provide us with a PIN number and you click submit if a PIN number is even required. And then you'll get messages through this system if there are any questions, and you outsource the data entry entirely through here. And that will be listed on here as a transcribe option starting very early next year. Now, checking through my script to make sure I don't forget anything like the last time I did this webinar, I think I've covered pretty much everything but our clients. And when I showed you the mailing link, where does that data come from, and where are we going into next year? So being a one-stop shop, we understand that you need to be able to group and organize your customers inside this application by who the customer is and how many locations they have. So you see here we had Jamie Corp with his single location in Baldwin, and we can view that location by clicking on the home button. This is the one that I have. We can create forms directly from this location. Now, this is a little bit on the tedious side because right now you'd be typing these items in one by one. Very, very early in quarter 1, we'll have an Excel-based importer. So you can just import a list of all your clients and your locations with a button up here, download an Excel template, you type in the details or copy them from your system of choice, import it, and all of the data is added into there. On top of that, we have a fixed assets cost tracking system that we're going to be delivering also in quarter 1. I'm going to talk about that a little bit and once we get to the next slide, but it's related to and functions alongside this client interface that I'm showing you. I also want to point out that we do offer sales and use tax in 2 different jurisdictions, in North Carolina and South Carolina. So if I was to come to here and pick North Carolina, we have the ability, as I mentioned, to do individual personal property as well as sales and use. And the sales and use data can be automatically imported from QuickBooks, and we're working to expand to other providers as well. So I'm going to switch back from the demo into the slide deck so I can talk a little bit more about the features that we're going to be building in here. And let's go ahead and press these buttons. So as I mentioned, you saw our clients and locations interface. On top of that interface, we're building a simple asset management platform, which allows you to, for any given location or for a number of locations, do an import of data, which will take the spreadsheet that you've ingested, and it will use an AI classifier to automatically determine, if you've left the assets category blank, exactly where on the form that asset should go. For each form, we know there's a fixed number of sections on the form that those assets are going to fall into that we've already mapped out. And we have an asset classifier that knows that mapping and can take the descriptions, costs, and year of purchase to intelligently decide exactly where on the form that needs to go. So while many of you may have that data already, it will just be read in and used. And if you don't have that data, you don't have to go through the trouble anymore of saying, for this form, which part of this form am I supposed to put this data in terms of where the assets go. It will give you the suggestion that it thinks is most appropriate based on the description. All you have to do is upload a spreadsheet. And that will be coming no later than the end of quarter 1 this year. And I'm sure, hopefully, you have lots of questions about that. So don't forget to use that question and answer button. So before we get on to what's it cost and can I use this today? Yes, you can use it today. As we mentioned, we give you 4 free credits. We wanted to talk about bulk extension management. So for any of our customers in our 3rd credit tier, which Jamie will explain in a moment, we can take a data payload from Excel of all of your extensions across all the states and import that and submit that for you, assuming you have the requisite number of credits on your account. So all you have to do is provide us with an Excel spreadsheet of all the extensions you want to request in the whole country, and we will automatically get those e-filed, mailed, transcribed, etc., as you need it across the whole country from an Excel spreadsheet. And all of those will be in the system for your tracking purposes. You'll be able to see if it was mailed, what the status is, if it's getting typed in, what the status is, if it was electronically delivered, has it been accepted, etc. And as I just mentioned on the prior slide, early quarter 1, we're going to have data importing for clients and locations, so you won't have to type them in one by one. And then by the end of quarter 1, we'll have the data importer for our fixed assets. So you'll be able to import that data, as I mentioned, have it automatically be classified, and click a button and have the form filled out essentially for you. So you're just reviewing the output of the form. And then for next year, we want to offer everyone the opportunity to have those bulk extensions. And so we'll have finished building the front end of that interface for next year. Moving on from here, I'm going to let Jamie take over. I'll remind him to unmute before he starts talking, and I will mute myself.
Yes, I just remained unmuted so that I didn't have that problem again. But no, so our platform is extremely flexible. And instead of going with long-term contracts, which is what most of our clients are typically used to, we use a flexible credit system. So you're able to go in, purchase the credits as you need them. Those credits never expire. And as Adam mentioned, you're given 4 free credits when you sign up. Um, Different services like e-filing, mailing options, or transcriptions, those services that Adam has just gone through, use different credit amounts, making it easy to scale and use based on your needs. So, depending on what type of delivery method you want to use, you're able to go in and purchase the number of credits that you'll need in order to submit your filings in a timely way. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide. So starting in 2026, and because, as Adam mentioned, we've gone nationwide for all 37 states that assess personal property tax, and we've expanded our services, we are going to be adjusting our current pricing. And the increase is tiered, so higher volumes of users see a lower price per credit increase, and the structure helps keep pricing predictable while supporting our continued platform expansion and innovation. I'm sure there's going to be questions about that, and we're happy to go into as much detail as you need for any of our services as well as for our pricing. And we'd like to go ahead and move on to our question and answer section. So, as I mentioned earlier, there's a Q&A button at the bottom of your page, at the bottom of the webinar, and please feel free to submit those questions as you have them. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the questions that are coming in. Question number one. Do we have a calendar view? Adam, could you explain what our thoughts are on how we will address the calendar view?
Absolutely. In the next few weeks, our expectation is to roll out a calendar view because we've already aggregated the deadlines across all of those jurisdictions and we have access to which forms are in flight. We are actively working on a calendar view right now to display that for you, as well as who needs to do what and the ability to create email reminders. We'll be rolling out the calendar view itself very early in the new year and then email reminders shortly thereafter.
Fantastic. Let me check a second question here. Um, is there a way to separate data between different teams? That's a great question.
Yes. So my recommendation is to use the organization feature, and that allows you to create different teams based on different access profiles, and one administrator can be spread across them. In addition, to make that easier, we offer, if you don't want to put in a credit card number for each team, you can do invoice pricing with us, and we can add the credits to those teams as you need.
Perfect. Moving on, we've got what are the 2 states you offer sales and use tax services for? Currently, we are in North Carolina and South Carolina, and as Adam mentioned earlier, we're expanding that to all of the states that assess that throughout the country in 2026. Um, do we support forms for Forsyth County in North Carolina? Adam?
Yes, currently Forsyth County, North Carolina uses our mailing functionality. Although we have a relationship with the new assessor in that county and would very much like for them to accept electronic delivery as soon as possible.
Fantastic. Let me see if I can see anything else. Does printing the forms to mail yourself use credits? So go ahead, Adam. You can speak to that.
It just uses a single credit in the system. So the forms are mapped. If you use this for data entry, we store this for at least 7 years. And the data is able to be rolled over from year to year, lets you add unlimited number of attachments, and we charge just 1 credit for that data functionality.
And so essentially the way it works is in order to start a form, that is 1 credit. But then depending on the delivery method that you select, that will either it'll likely add to that number of credits used. So, priority mail, add another credit, certified mail, add another 2 credits, and that's how that functionality works. Let's go back. Yes, Alamance and Rockingham counties yes, those I believe are also included in what we are offering.
Yeah, so we support the functionality in every single, so there's 100 different counties in North Carolina. We support all 100 of them. Some of them do e-file directly, and that's just one credit. Some of them require mailing. We also support extensions in all 100 counties, but those may need to be mailed depending on the jurisdiction.
Correct. The next question I may need a little bit more knowledge on where this is coming from, but Palm Beach County releases their table values in February. When would your system update this?
So my assumption is that's related to the either the depreciation values that are listed like we have in, I think it was Georgia, or there's a number of states which add essentially a column in the asset listings that say you're going to depreciate it by this much for this year. Our system dynamically handles that information. So that was part of what we would consider to be yearly information. And as it gets released, we will update it nearly immediately. And we have a backend interface to help keep that information up to date.
And that goes along with some of this. This next question, if we use our your platform for our client, will that data get saved in this platform to use for next year's filing?
Absolutely. In fact, we encourage you to use it year over year because it's push button to start a form from a previous year. And all of the data is filled out except for the current year's data.
Repopulating that creates a huge efficiency for our current clients, and it's something that we definitely want to highlight. So thank you for asking that question, whoever that came from. Any other questions? Victoria, is there anything else in the question list? Those were fantastic questions, by the way. So thank you for those of you who put those in.
I do also want to point out if anyone's interested in a private demonstration of our in development AI classifier, we are happy to show that. I didn't necessarily want to pull a Bill Gates and show it to everyone quite before it was ready, but we are happy to show it on a one-on-one basis, or it'll be available very early next year.
Fantastic. Well, that looks like that's all the questions we have. So if like Adam said, if you'd like a personalized demonstration or have any follow-up questions after today's session, we'd love to connect. You can reach out directly to Marissa using her contact information on this slide, and she'll be happy to help. Marissa, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, thanks, Jamie and Adam. Great demonstration. And thanks, everyone, for joining us. I know it's a busy time of year. We're heading into the holiday season, but we really appreciate the opportunity to show you how TaxScribe can make filing easier for you. And we hope that you took a lot away from it, but I know it's a lot to pack into the hour. So if you think of any other questions after we dismiss, just please feel free to reach out to me. And I'll also reach out to you to continue the conversation. And I can also share a link to the recording or a copy of the slide deck if you're interested.
Thank you so much, Marissa, and thank you, Adam, for walking us through the platform. And thank you, everybody who's attended today's meeting. And we look forward to being in touch soon.
We are happy to hang around for a few minutes as questions come in and people trickle out. Since we're scheduled all the way till 2, I saw 2 more questions come in if you want to handle those.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. With the free credits which you receive, how many filings can be completed? Well, that depends on the delivery method type that you choose. So, as we mentioned before, if you are just going to print it out for yourself and do the mailing on your own, that will cost 1 credit. If you choose to do priority mail, that will cost 2 credits. And if you use the uh, certified mail, that will be 3 credits. So, that is how that works.
Which
Um,
is to say specifically 1 to 4 forms, depending on how you deliver it. You could do 4 forms or 1 if it's going to be certified mail.
Yeah, thank you for simplifying that, Adam.
Yeah,
I often get
no problem.
too complicated in my descriptions, so thank you for that. Someone asked if we could see the pay scale again. Could you go back up to that real quickly?
This is also available on our website at www.taxscribe.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like people are starting to drop. Uh, do you have any insights we could share on how we will price the new import for assets?
Yes, I would have to look that up specifically, but my understanding is it's going to be a reasonably low monthly subscription, and Andy has the specific details of that, which I'm not sure if he'll be able to share now, but he'd be happy with Marissa to schedule a one-on-one demo, and we could talk through all of that.
That is great. Um, if you file an extension and the listing, how many credits would it cost? And so that would be, depending on the delivery method, that would be 1 to 4 credits.
And so two, if you were doing it in some place where you were printing or e-filing.
Yep, that's correct. Is the NC extension filing already opened? And I believe that one opens, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that extension filing opens January 1st.
Yeah, so while it is my great hope and dream to open it a week or two early in the future, currently it opens at midnight on New Year's. So our development team wishes their family a happy New Year's and then make sure that is 100% functional. So hopefully next year it will be before January 1st, but you can listen to Auld Lang Syne, if I remember that song right, and then hop on, start requesting your extensions. I also recommend if you have a lot of extensions, talk to us as we may be able to automate that entire process for you.
Excellent. And then, and something I think we mentioned this before, but I want to make sure I answer this question. If we purchase credits now, will they still be valid after the price increase in January? Absolutely. Once you purchase credits, those credits do not disappear. They will stay valid for the life of our platform. So if you purchase now at the current pricing, then they will not become invalid once pricing changes. It's a great question. Um, last question, hopefully, well, not hopefully, I hope we can get a few more, but how does TaxScribe handle year-over-year comparison of assets that move in or out of a jurisdictions or of a jurisdiction? And can we
This
make,
is a
go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say this is a phenomenal question. Can TaxRep make those calculations from two sets of data last year versus this year? So in our asset system, we will have the data that you've used to generate the form with, and we'll keep a snapshot of that data so you know what was used. And then next year, if you have an asset whose location tracking ID changes, that will then be reflected in that data as a disposal from the first location and an addition to the next location. Phenomenal question.
Yeah. Obviously, we have people attending who know exactly what they're doing. So thank y'all for attending. Um, looks like we may have one more kind of trickling in. Okay. Looks like we've had a couple of people already ask for some additional demos, and so we're excited about that. So thank you for that, and please continue to reach out. You have our contact information, and Marissa will be happy to help you schedule that and answer any questions that you may have. Looks like we are done with questions at this point. So happy to stick around a little bit longer, but if there's nothing else coming in, we'll give you back about 20 minutes of your day and allow you to get ready for the holidays. Thank you so much for coming, and we hope to talk to you soon.